You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
Hiya! Oh, okay, look, I saw Tom Vent in the main hall. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't Tuesday night Among Us with Casual Gaming Dad. Speaking of which, all of you listening to this podcast should be joining us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Casual Gaming Dad presents Among Us, featuring the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast as crewmates and killers. And shame on anyone who listens to this podcast and doesn't play with us, because, come on, let's do friend things. Plus, you can interact with not only Beef the Legend, not only Poot the Bard, not only myself, Ransom the Madman, but you can interact with the host of Tuesday Night Among Us, Casual Gaming Dad himself. And do you know who Casual Gaming Dad is? Well, let me tell you who Casual Gaming Dad is. Casual Gaming Dad is none other than Tiger Bomb Tom, who also happens to be the king of the jungle. And what does that mean? That means he is the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast Juicerweight Champion. You're welcome. Enjoy a slice of that pie. Right, guys?
Yeah.
I was waiting for none of us to answer and him go, right, guys? Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, everybody,
Guys?
bye.
Nice execution. You're doing great.
So listen, before we get into stuff, I wanna bring up one quick thing and talk about it real fast. We don't have to go super in depth, but I want to get a little bit of opinions, because I saw an article this week where the world heavyweight champion of whining, crying, and bitching, Bret the Hitman Hart, gave an interview about how he wants WWE to remove Tom's favorite wrestler, Goldberg, from the WWE Hall of Fame. He doesn't think he deserves to be in there.
I agree with Bret Hart. Best opinion.
Yeah.
He wants Goldberg removed.
I mean, I
now
agree with
listen,
that, but go on.
I need you to try and be objective about this.
Oh boy.
Don't let your disdain get the best of you. Okay, go ahead.
I think that Goldberg is a worthy entry in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Because the WWE Hall of Fame is basically the accepted wrestling Hall of Fame at this point. And I know that there's a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame somewhere else.
Yes, there is.
But
There is. That's the one that Bill Apter is in.
Yeah. The fact that nobody really knows about it, and like we're all like, oh, maybe they're where I think, it's about, it means that the accepted Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
We all just turn into Hamsar when we talk about this. Yeah,
but you know,
where's that Hall of Fame there? The wrestling and stuff.
Oh, hey there.
Coach Z.
I don't think that Goldberg is a good wrestler. I think that he's a terrible wrestler, but I think he's a tremendous sports entertainer. I think that what he did in WCW got eyes on the product. He was exciting to see. He had moves that have often been imitated. The spear alone, I mean, no one did a spear before Bill Goldberg. Now everybody does a spear. The jackhammer is a great fucking move. Yes, you know, his WWE career has been shit, in that he has beaten people he had no business beating, was in feuds he has no business being in, and was getting millions of dollars to do so. But that notwithstanding, I think that his contributions to the Monday Night War cannot be overlooked.
All right.
And therefore, I think he belongs in Hall of Fame.
Brace yourself, Ransom. You might want to pull out the defibrillator as well, too.
Oh, damn.
I will mostly agree with Beef.
Yeah!
Well, mostly, only for the fact...
Mostly.
They mostly come out at night. Only for the fact that within the WWE Hall of Fame, you have like the celebrity wing and stuff like that. And you have people that aren't professional wrestlers. So that coupled with the fact that for whatever reason, I'll never understand, Goldberg did help get eyes on the product in WCW, and they needed to build a character that would stand up to the rest of the other like 3/4 of the company that would become the NWO and stuff like that, because everybody fucking joined the MWO, you know what I mean? So I mean, granted, you had a few other people, you know, you had DDP and you had Flair and you had some other, you had you know, the real workers and stuff like that, and like you know, Guerrero, Malenko, stuff like that, you know, people like that. But unfortunately, the real workhorses were not really utilized to their full potential, and WCW put, you know, all their eggs in the basket that was Goldberg. So I mostly agree with Beef in that sense. Do I think Goldberg deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? I mean, come on. You know how I feel about him. He is a skid mark in general on the society that is professional wrestling, in my opinion. So,
Hoot, how do you feel about this?
Tom, did you have anything left to say before I
it's as far as whether or not he belongs in the Hall of Fame, that's a very compelling argument. But I still think he's the worst, and I hate him. And so I'll leave it with that.
Part of me for the lulz wants to just oppose Beef because reasons. But as a sports entertainer, I will give Bill Goldberg all the credit in the world. He was a phenom, to not go like, well, Undertaker is a phenom. Right. Using the term as broadly as it, you know, he was. Yeah, sure. He was a phenom. Bill Goldberg was a household name. He was on the level, like this is the same kind of thing. I've mentioned it on the podcast before. If my 73-year-old parents have heard of someone, they're over. Like they are. And right. And that's the thing. It's like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Bill Goldberg. Goldberg, people knew the name. Even if you weren't a wrestling fan, you knew who Bill Goldberg was. So as a sports entertainer, as an attraction, yes, yeah. I agree. I truly do.
That's a good way of putting that. I will say this, though, in regards to that. Yes, he was a household name. But now, the litmus test is 10 years, 20 years after the fact or whatever. If you ask somebody... if they know who Ric Flair is, yeah, they know who Ric Flair is. They know who Hulk Hogan is. They know who John Cena is. Will they in another 10 to 20 years, will they still know who Bill Goldberg is? I hope not.
I mean, all right.
I'm not done. I'm not done. As far as an actual in-ring wrestler, fuck no. He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's better than Coco Beware.
Listen, Beef, come on. Come on.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, the reason that I'm saying come on is that that's not fair, because I have never wrestled a professional match once in my life, and I'm a better wrestler than Coco Beware. Like you're missing the point. Like that's not fair to do that. That's like saying that a McDonald's hamburger is better than carpet soaked in bleach. Like that's not fair. That's not fair.
Oh dear.
Like,
Oh my.
and
Also,
and
speaking of missing the point, I think we're all missing Rance's point here. It's not whether or not Goldberg belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's Bret Hart saying that he should be removed. We can't go fucking.
Should he be removed? No. I hate
You
the
can't
idea.
go.
I hate the idea of removing anyone from any Hall of Fame unless it is something along the lines of, and get ready, I'm going to say the name that shall not be said, Chris Benoit.
Well, that's a
He's never
WWE
been.
directive.
That's
I
an
can say his
exception.
name anytime I want.
He's not in the Hall of Fame. Here's my like this whole revisionist history thing is just like, well, maybe if we make a petition, maybe we can get this movie remade. Maybe if we make a petition, maybe we can get this cut of the movie released. Maybe if we make a petition. Now, you know what? Fuck it, man. Like, if he's put in the Hall of Fame, he's got the ring. No one's ever going to show up at his fucking house and be like, Bill, we want your ring back, because he'd probably punch your face off. No one's going to fucking, and like, you can't take away his ceremony. That's always going to be out there, regardless of whether or not he fucking is the
Deserves
worst,
it.
and he is.
Yeah.
He's not going to be removed. Brett's a whiny old man who's trying to stay relevant, trying to get his name out there, because maybe, just maybe, someone's going to hire Bret Hart to do something if he continues to talk.
So I'm going to give my real quick opinion on this. As far as should Bill Goldberg be removed from the Hall of Fame? No, absolutely not. And rightfully so, to an extent. You know, Bret Hart harbors all the animosity of the world towards Bill Goldberg. He blames Bill Goldberg for ruining his career and ruining his health. And, you know, now...
Facts.
Sure, facts. But, like, look... I don't know. You got to play the hand that you're dealt in life. You know, like I'm 38, and my back is probably going to be ruined for the rest of my life. Like I'll probably have constant back pain for the rest of my life. I don't think it's going to get fixed. Is that fair? No. Am I excited about that? No. That's the hand I'm dealt. There's no point in lamenting what could have been. So I don't understand why this whole like feud with Bill Goldberg is still a thing. How many years ago was that? Like, dude, get over it. Like it happened. It sucks. That's the hand you were dealt with. Move on, man. Move on. Like, good Lord, bitterness can just poison somebody, and I think it's just ruined Bret Hart.
Yeah.
As far as Bill Goldberg deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, you know what? I think he does. Because nobody looks at the and maybe the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame is different. I have no idea because I didn't even know it existed. But the WWE Hall of Fame isn't about wrestling. It's not about, are you a good wrestler? Like, I mean, it really isn't. Hulk Hogan wasn't a good wrestler. He is in the Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. Because WWE, for probably as long as I've been alive, hasn't been about wrestling. It's been about sports entertainment. Whether they called it that at the time, I mean, they called it the World Wrestling Federation. It was never really about wrestling because you had goofy characters.
Right.
It was always sports entertainment. And regardless of how well Bill Goldberg performed in the ring, he was a draw for WCW. He made WCW money.
He did.
He got WCW viewers, and people bounced back and forth. There was how many compare, like, I'll call you a liar to your face. If you were a wrestling fan during the Monday Night Wars and you didn't hear either from your own mouth or from another friend who watched wrestling from their mouth, the comparison between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bill Goldberg. I mean, there was always comparisons between the two. Not about how great they were in the ring or like, oh, Austin could out wrestle Goldberg, but it was like Stone Cold was the WWE version, Goldberg was the WCW version, and everybody during the Monday Night Wars wanted to see a match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bill Goldberg. So, yeah, I mean, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. His WWE career was just the drizzling poops.
Yeah.
But, hey, what are you going to do? That's not where he made his fame and made his money. no, he made his money.
In WCW.
That's not where he made his, like, he made his fame in WCW.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's Beef's right. It's Brett being a, you know, bitter old man, and you know, partially rightfully so, but also partially, hey, get over it.
Right. I mean, in regards to kind of wrap it up, like in regards to Bret Hart, I mean, like, obviously, you know, everybody's entitled to, you know, feel the way that you feel about anything. Like, I understand Bret feeling the way he feels towards Goldberg for everything that happened. I get it. But it's all in how you handle it after the fact. It's been, you know, a long time. If Bret was able to mend fences with Shawn and, you know, mend fences with Vince or whatever, you know, like, he's still, I mean, granted, I don't know what his health is exactly to, you know, the furthest extent, but I mean, good God, at least you're not like fucking draws. Like, look what happened to him. And like, it could be a lot worse. I hate saying that to people that are going through any sort of hardship, like, oh, well, it could be worse, because not trying to dismiss anything that you know, Bret or anybody else that's having hardships. But I'm not trying to be dismissive of anything that anybody's going through, because, like I said, you have the right. You're entitled to feel however you want to feel about something. It's not wrong to feel a certain way about something, but it's your actions that.
Well, I mean, you're right. It's all the way. It's all how you look at it.
It's all in how you handle it and how you act. Yeah,
but it could be. I mean, really.
Yeah,
it could be worse. Like, it could be a lot worse. Well, I don't want to talk about these two old men anymore. There's current wrestling stuff that we need to talk about. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of touch on that since I had read it and it popped up, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what how the boys feel about this. But Beef, what's been going on currently in the world of wrestling?
I mean, we had a pretty good premium live event about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, we did. I was pleasantly surprised with how entertained I was by everything.
That was a good showing.
Yeah.
WWE has been sneaky good this year. I think
it's been sneaky good since a certain event took place.
Even before, man.
Shut up.
I think that we all talked about how decent WrestleMania was. And it was kind of like there were definitely moments.
Yeah, there were some of the I hate calling them premium live events because it just feels weird, so I'm just gonna keep calling them pay-per-views because I'm fucking old and set in my ways. But a couple of the in-betweener pay-per-views, like, you were like, oh yeah, you know, go in expecting like a, you know, halfway decent show, and it was like, instead of it being like we were expecting it to be like a C minus, it turned out to be like, you know, like a B plus A minus show or whatever. You know,
that's
some
what
of
I'm
those.
saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. Yeah, but definitely, I mean, and glaringly obvious, like, since Triple H has taken over the creative, it has been on a complete upswing. Like, there's very, very, very few points of criticism, not nearly as many. You know, we're not the old men shaking our fists at the clouds now. They're like, damn you, creative! Ah! So,
yeah, man. But yeah, Extreme Rules was very entertaining.
Yeah,
top to bottom, and like, I think every match had a stipulation, which was weird, but it worked for Extreme Rules. No,
that's weird.
Nope.
Never mind.
It's very juicy.
That's fine. I mean, someone else can talk about all the pay-per-views you guys watch. That's fine. I'll put it up.
No. I mean, like,
jeez, are you munching on salt cubes there? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so angry.
Taking the salt lick from the backyard. Those are for the deer beef.
That's the full on ransom diet right there.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh.
What? Hurtful.
Listen. I mean, accurate, but still, listen.
No. So I mean, obviously, like, you know, Extreme Rules was good, but the biggest thing was everybody, you know, that was waiting. Everybody was waiting for for Bray Wyatt to come back, and you know, we got that at the end. And
should have been Charlotte Flair.
God damn it!
You're gonna give him a heart attack.
This is why we can't. This is why we can't have nice things. Wait, you're gonna get Beef a heart attack, not me. I mean, I'll laugh at it, but
Beef live.
Beef.
I'm fine. I'm just eating my candy.
Easy. Grouchy, grumpy.
I'm really glad that it wasn't a return to the Fiend coming back or whatever. Because when you really think about it, like, they kind of painted themselves into a corner creatively. Like, the Fiend was really cool to see, like, a spectacle, but when you get into like the psychology of like actually having a match and stuff, it's like, all right, well, what the hell's supposed to happen now? Because the Fiend's supposed to be like pretty much impervious to everything. So like, what can you really do creatively with a match with
Set him on fire.
something like that? Yeah, you can do that apparently. So I'm really glad to see it, and again, like, I hope that maybe like the Fiend is something that he can pull out of his back pocket. But I'm really interested to see where this new character goes with it. Like, since Bray's come back and he's had like his first promo back, it seems like there's going to be kind of this like duality sort of thing, like him fighting against his inner demon sort of thing. And it's got some legs to it. I think I hope they don't rush it. And I hope they take their time and let everything just kind of build and build and build. And then we get a really good payoff with it.
It was really nice seeing on, not even just talking about Extreme Rules for his return, because I thought it was really cool, and how it immediately set off the wrestling world with theories about what is going to happen with Bray Wyatt and the supposed stable and everything. That's one thing, but it was so refreshing and nice to see on Friday on SmackDown, him coming out and not only looking comfortable in front of a crowd, like really comfortable, but having the reception he had, and having the ability to have him come out there and be a human being and explain and really have emotion. It takes a super wacky, talented human being to fake that kind of reaction. And I'm not saying that Bray Wyatt is not that, or Wyndham Rotunda is not that. What I'm saying is it was really nice seeing him do that, but then also having that tie into still what's happening character arc wise with him, if that makes sense. Like,
no. Yeah, I get that. Like, it's the same thing to kind of go back to the Firefly Funhouse, like when he was Sweater Bray, and he would make those quick transitions from like super nice to like imposing evil sort of thing, or vice versa. Like, he has that ability to flip that switch real quick, and he's super talented. Like, those little nuances, like, for all the different characters of, the Firefly Funhouse, like if you go back and actually really go back and watch those episodes of them when he introduced Huskus the pig, he that was the nod back to the Husky Harris character. Like, and I can't remember what the line was, but he said something, and he's like, "Oh, you could be anything you want to be," or whatever, blah blah blah. And they like breaks the fourth wall with the camera and gives like this real long wink. Like, he's super creative. So yeah, like you said, it, regardless if he was playing a character with his genuine approach there and everything like that, when he said like, "This is the real me, you're getting to see this side of me," like, even if that was character work, fucking bravo, like, he nailed it. But I feel like that, I personally, I think that was like just him being him. And because, I mean, I don't know, he nailed it. However, whatever way you want to look at it, he nailed it for sure. Beef,
did you watch that promo?
I saw pieces of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I respect it for what it was.
I want to get your hot take. You're more dialed in than I am. So I want to get kind of your take on it. Was that a completely like character promo, or do you think that some of that was genuine and then they wrapped it up into like a story arc there at the end whenever the masked dude came on the screen and whatnot? Like, Was some of that genuine, do you feel? Or do you feel like that was completely 100% character-driven, scripted? Well, not scripted, but character-driven promo.
So here's an idea that I've been having fun with. What if he's not talking to the fans? What if that entire promo is not addressing the WWE universe, but is addressing this, like, Uncle Howdy, or whatever the hell his name's gonna be? You dig what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
talking about how you saved me, how you brought me through, and how you were always there for me.
That's interesting.
I've been kicking around the last couple days. So that was kind of what's kind of bouncing around with my brain. But I mean, like, I think wrestling is the theater of the absurd, but also is the theater of, like, real life, where, like, weird fucking things happen with these larger than life personalities, and we don't know what's real, what's fake anymore. And I think that's the beauty of it, man. When you can weave that shit as seamlessly as Wyndham can, you don't know. Like, what was legit Wyndham coming from the heart? Probably. You know, that's probably a part of it, man. You have to assume that he had a lot of this built up, because let's be honest, this groundswell was because of the fans. Like, we wouldn't leave well enough alone.
Yep.
Where was he going to wind up next? Impact? AW? Oh, Triple H is back in charge. That means Bray's going to come back? We kept clamoring. And I think that he knows that. And I think that he absolutely appreciates that. So, yeah, I think that the best parts of wrestling have a little bit of real life wrapped up in them.
Oh, yeah.
So I absolutely think that like there, you know, I think that he definitely wanted that to be part of it, and he wanted, but like I think that it does seem, you know, come seamlessly together too. So I think a little from column A, a little from column B. I'm excited to see where it heads, man. You guys know I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, whenever I had you guys down for WrestleMania 30, I sat up like fucking Bray Wyatt until some drunk ass bitch spilled wine all over me and got me all pissed off. But like,
What?
you know,
What?
yeah, man, WrestleMania 31 rather.
Still, what?
You don't remember? Yeah, man.
Was I there for that? Was I the drunk ass bitch that spilled stuff on you?
No, it was.
I mean, generally
that's
that's my gimmick, so you know.
Yeah.
It was one of Brittany's like former friends. I don't remember who all was there, but it was a packed house. I think like her family was here. She had some friends, and
wait, which
I don't
Bray
remember
Wyatt
that.
travesty? Which Bray Wyatt travesty was that? Was that
was when he faced the Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I think I was at home for that one.
that.
I think I was at home for that one.
No, I think you were here. I think Chuck for sure was here. I don't know about Ransom. Anyway, my point remains that I am a big. Damn it! That I'm a big Bray fan. And I was like, wait, which one did I call the real name? That I'm a big Bray fan. So like I am less interested in this Wyatt 6 stable. Like, don't get me wrong, I want it to lead the War Games, and I want it to be against the Bloodline. I think it'd be really cool. But like,
I don't want to.
It feels like right. It feels like we don't have enough time for that. So that's okay if it doesn't materialize by then.
Yeah.
I am interested to see what's going to happen with Wyndham because, you know, he's been WWE champion now. He's been Universal champion now. Like, what's next? Like, how do they move forward with him? How do they rebuild him? And it's very clear.
Ultimo Dragon style, give him all the belts.
Right? It's very clear that
he's the tag team champions.
Yes.
The people absolutely love him. He got the pop of the night, man.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like the minute that door fucking opened, and yeah, man, like he is here, and people love it. So yeah, I'm excited for where it goes.
You know, I think they can rebuild his character and push him towards the belt. I mean, either one of the top belts. Like, I don't think he needs to go for Intercontinental or United States. Like, I think he's. This might not be the best way to phrase it. I think he's beyond that. You know, I think he's top tier belt material. And looking back on the WWE run, the Universal run, they weren't the best. Not for fault of Bray Wyatt. It's just, I think that the storylines that he was in, the matches that he won and lost, I don't think like that played out like it should have. You know, when The Fiend came on, I really felt like The Fiend should have been one of those unstoppable characters. Like, not the next Undertaker, but like an Undertaker-style unstoppable character. Yeah, he could be beat, but you knew he wasn't easily beat.
Right.
And like he's coming back. Like anybody that beat the Undertaker, you're always like, oh, here we go.
Same thing
like
with Kane.
Undertaker's gonna sit up and oh man, like you beat him, but you didn't really get the job done. And you know, I think if they mold him into that, if they mold him into this character that he can be beat, but he loses so infrequently, and the way that he loses, it takes
character.
Well, not just that, but it takes every ounce that his opponent has to beat him, and they just barely do it. And like he doesn't leave the ring all hurt and injured. Like Undertaker never like limped away from the ring, like just selling injured, like, oh, I got beat, I'm so beat up.
Well, not till the end.
Well, right. But
right.
Like Undertaker Prime, like there was never any of that. Like he was always this just unstoppable machine, this unstoppable force.
Undertaker Prime. Druids, roll out.
Yeah, and I think they could do that with Bray. Like I think they could turn Bray into this ominous, unstoppable force. And you know, I think he's got a lot of longevity, and I think he could really have another good couple title runs. Like he could be main event, always in the background. Like, you know,
Ransom,
he's not.
If I may, I gotta further off your point, and I completely agree with you. Like Bray being beyond the belts, because think about this: when you think back about the Undertaker, do you think about his title? Do you think about his title runs, or do you think about the character?
Always the character.
Yeah, like for me, I couldn't tell you how many. I don't feel like Undertaker has been WWE champion that many times, like not as many times as like a Randy Orton or a Triple H or whatever, but like he had one of the longest running characters for any wrestler in the business. And I feel like I always hate saying making Bray like the next Undertaker or whatever, because like I can't remember who said it. It's like, oh, you shouldn't strive to be the next so and so, you should strive to be the first you. But
yeah.
In that vein, like I agree with you. Like Bray is kind of, he has that type of character that is beyond needing a world title. So even if he doesn't get a title run right away, or even if he doesn't get another title run or something, it's his character that I'm here for. Like I don't care about the title. It's just book him right. Like regardless if there's a title in the picture or not, just book him right and do right by the character. Make the character stand out. Make it believable. Like make me suspend my disbelief or whatever. Make me, capture it. Capture that moment. Capture the mystique, whatever you want to call it.
I think Triple H will. I think Triple H will, and I think Bray is a smart dude. I mean, we've seen his creativity just pop off the page. Like he's no dummy. he wasn't going to come back to WWE knowing full well that like he was going to put everything that he had into yet another phenomenal, interesting character just to have it go tits up like the Fiend did. Like I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would come back and go like, okay, I'm going to pour my heart and soul into it, and then, oh, just utter disappointment. So the fact that he was willing to come back with this new character, with a new idea and a new vision, I think says a lot about his trust in Triple H. Because I think Triple H will do right by him.
I will make a comparison because I think Tom said something very astute. It doesn't matter about the titles; it matters about the character work. Look at another guy who's absolutely fucking tearing it up right now, and that's MJF. He's never held a title in AEW, but yet is widely regarded as probably their best talent.
Yeah.
Because I want Max to get a title, and Max absolutely deserves a title. Max is going to get a title.
Yeah.
In T-minus 30 days, he's going to have a title around his waist. But he doesn't need it, because when you can talk, when you are that guy, when you are him, as the kids say, you don't need it. Because you can make people care about what you're doing without all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that
like,
said, yeah.
Like you do need a title to like freshen up the character or to give them a little bit of push here and there at some point. So yes, there's importance for it, because otherwise if titles weren't, didn't have some sort of degree of importance, they just wouldn't have them. Like, who fucking cares? What the fuck is my cat? Sorry. I see my cat getting into something. So, but yeah, I agree that in this case, the character is bigger than the title. I'll be right back.
But yeah,
So,
go ahead.
Finish your Bray Wyatt thought. I have another question after you're done.
No, I mean I was going to parlay into something else. So you go right ahead.
I can't. I don't remember if we touched on this on a podcast or in a group chat. They tend to blend together sometimes for me. But with all of these people that Triple H is bringing back, I'm not going to go down the list. Anybody that's watched WWE knows the list of people that have returned since Triple H has taken over. Do you guys worry at all that we'll see kind of like the negatives of this that we see in AEW, which is the bloating of the roster? Do you think WWE, if Triple H continues to bring back like the Triple H guys, do you think we're going to wind up seeing a bloating of the roster, or do you think they have room to feature everybody with all the new talent, well, with all the returning talent?
I mean,
You mean
we've talked about it before.
with AEW
They
or
have-
WWE?
With WWE, with all the
WWE.
people that Triple H is bringing back now that he's in charge.
Beef, can I really quick, because my point's going to be a lot shorter than yours. And that's not me being
Wow.
smart. Mine's simple. I think WWE, because of their lineage, experience, and now with the focus that they have, I truly, honestly think that they will be able to be smart about how they book everybody, and I think they'll be a little more judicious with where they feature people and how they treat where people are featured in an intelligent way. I really do. That's the thing. I think that they are smart enough to make room for everyone.
I believe that they have 3 shows. If they can't, I don't think that they worry about roster bloating with 3 shows. And there's no reason that they should. They have plenty of room for everybody. So no, I don't think we'll see a roster bloat with WWE. I think that AEW is working on the roster bloat. I really do. I think that Raw getting its own show is going to be good. And I think that that's going to probably free up a lot of talent. But like, yeah, I don't I don't see people coming back to WWE as a problem.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys caught what happened with MJF and Regal this week.
I
with,
heard.
I did. It
I
was a
didn't get to
hell of a fucking great promo.
I didn't get to
MJF,
watch it, but
awesome promo.
I caught a little bit of wind of it, but go on.
MJF dropped an absolute fucking stunner. A great fucking promo. I mean, again, surprise, surprise. Max does a great promo. Yeah, like then fucking Regal follows up. So MJF was talking about how like Regal sent him a rejection letter from WWE, and he said, keep sending me tapes, and how he got a couple of replies after a couple of months, and then like I think he said in the third month that Regal was like, listen, I'm busy, I don't have time to review all this stuff. Like if you want to get big, get out there and make a name for yourself, and then talk to me. And that really
Wow.
kind of like puckered MJF's ass to make him work even harder. And then Regal came back with the fact that, hey, I guess you need to keep on fighting, don't you? Because you're still not there. You still have to prove to me that you are that guy, that you can be that guy that we all knew you would be. So, and then like Regal like turned around to give him a free shot, and MJF didn't take it. And then at the end of the night, after Hangman Page was legit injured, so they were kind of vamping a little bit. But MJF ran out with the poker chip and a referee, like he was going to quote unquote cash in, and then he pulled away, saying that he wants to do it right. He wants to do it one-on-one with Moxley to prove that he can beat Moxley one-on-one because he's better than him, and he knows it. So, make no mistake, seeds are being planted, because in the same broadcast, they had a segment, and I saw this coming a million miles away, with Daniel Bryan and Wheeler Yuta, where I think it was Renee was talking with Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson? Fuck.
Yes, Brian Danielson.
Oh, boo!
And Wheeler Yuta.
I was letting it go.
I think making that mistake, I think still, even though we're that far removed, it's tough. It's tough.
It's
Well,
tough
the names
because
are so similar.
that's what I'm saying. So anyway, Renee is sitting with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta, and Bryan is like, well, talk about how he was disappointed in Garcia and how nobody likes to lose. And Wheeler's just sitting there fucking rolling his eyes. And he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, hey, man, don't meet your heroes because, here I am busting my ass, proving that I'm one of the best, and you're just overlooking me for another dude in another faction. So awesome. And he got up and left. I absolutely want to see Regal and Yuta help MJF win the title from Moxley, because MJF is getting like white hot babyface, like Austin levels of babyface,
Yeah.
and I don't think that that's what he is.
No.
I think the crowd is just ready to pop for him, but the dude is a heel through and fucking through. So how do you get heel heat on him? You pull guys like Wheeler Yuta and Regal away from Moxley and have them help MJF. It gets him more over as a heel, and really just makes sense.
Well, and the fact that Moxley is like widely regarded as like the face of AEW by many people, and he's through
with good reason.
Yeah, and through and through, he's basically the baby face of AEW. So having MJF go over on him, or having anybody go over on Moxley for the title, for that matter, would automatically put a decent amount of heat on them as a heel, unless you did a face versus face sort of thing. But I know that in AEW, faces and heels don't exist, or are we past that now?
I mean, that
So-
was a Codyism. That was
I
that
know,
was that was a
I know,
Codyism.
right?
So
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how how the crowd is reacting to MJF right now. Like it's just one of those things. Like it's the same thing. Like when you as a kid, like you watch enough Batman and you hate the Joker, and then as you grow up and you're a little bit more jaded by the world or whatever as an adult, you look at the Joker and you're like, I see your point. It's kind of that same effect. I think we're just the crowd's there. They're, like you said, they're ready for it. They're ready to pop. But make no mistake, like it's just like whenever Jericho's being a heel and people were still singing along with Judas, like he would still pull the crowd back in to remind them, hey, you hate me and here's why. MJF will undoubtedly do the same, I'm sure.
So, Beef, if things go down the way you envision, is that the end of the Blackpool Combat Club, or does the Blackpool Combat Club continue with Regal, Yuta, and MJF?
no,
Or,
I
like
think it
MJF's not
continues.
going to join them. He just
Right.
that's just a way to get the title off Moxley and solidify MJF as a heel.
That was the weirdest sounding burp in the world. It sounded like you went, is he going to take the,
That was me burping, but
oh, well, it fit in there perfectly.
good. I'm glad. Don't
I
cut that out.
I think that the Blackpool Combat Club continues with Moxley, Danielson, and Cesaro, or fucking Claudio.
Fuck.
So
Cedric
even
Alexander,
without
fuck.
even without William Regal, which is kind of like where the genesis of that name came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say he's the reason why Moxley and Danielson came together in the first place. Like,
So does Regal is he just like a manager then for Yuta? Like, where does he fit into that then?
So I don't know, man. I think that Regal could be a great heater for Yuta and MJF. I mean, MJF doesn't need a heater, but I mean,
Right.
like it I don't know, man. Like it just makes sense for that to happen. I don't know, man. There's so many ways they can go with it, but at the end of the day, on Saturday, November the 19th, I believe it is. If MJF is if MJF is an AEW champion, I will be supremely shocked and a little bit disappointed.
I got a question for you, because you probably would be more acting to know than I am. Has there been any other word on shit with the Elite or Punk or anything like that, as far as suspensions or when people might be back or anything like that?
Well, Ace Steel was fired this week.
Oh, okay. then.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that.
He
So-
wasn't needed anyway.
Yeah. What
So
was
that
he
means
doing
that-
anyway? What was that? What the hell was Ace Steel doing anyways? I don't even know.
I think he was just there as a friend, as a friend deal to Punk.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Who cares? Okay, go on.
Yeah, it's that, like, I saw a bunch of wrestling like outlets, on YouTube and various things talking about that, and I just went, oh no, what a shame. Anyway,
Yeah. So he's gone, which means that the legal thing with Punk is over, probably. So
What
now,
what illegal thing with Punk?
where Punk was, I think, threatening a lawsuit or something, threatening some sort of legal ramification against them. So the fact that he's gone, I mean, that's probably over. Now, here's what's exciting to me. The Elite were mentioned this week on Dynamite by name, and they refer to them as the inaugural 6-man tag team champions.
Oh, who
So-
mentioned that? Was it like on commentary? Or?
Shivani. Yeah, Shivani.
Okay.
It may have even been Excalibur.
Okay.
So that happened. And in Jericho's little promo about Ring of Honor champions, CM Punk was shown in it.
Hmm.
So I think they may be on their way to rekindling all of this. And let's be real, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. If they can get these guys on the same page, at the same table, they can make all the money in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, here's the problem. CM Punk is legit injured with his arm. And honestly, I think that if you were to do something like that, it would have to be like bang bang. So you have like the Elite come out and then have fucking Punk show up and just, be like, fuck you, Kenny Omega. Let's fucking go. You and I right now. Oh, my fantasy defense just scored a second touchdown. This is a fucking great night. So
who's playing tonight, by the way?
Cardinals and Saints. So I don't think you can pull the plug or pull the trigger on that until CM Punk is healthy. But I don't think you want to have the Elite held out, for fucking 6 months or whatever.
No.
So it's still very tenuous. There's not a lot of information out there still yet about who's getting what, about who's suspended where, and what have you.
Right.
That's still unclear, but we are moving forward with them referencing those entities and with them firing a Steel. And I mean, really, he was the one. I think that A Steel was the one that I think was the shit stirrer. He's the one that fucking bit Omega, who had fucking bite marks at that fucking thing in Japan. So, I think that he had to be the fall guy.
So I need you to explain this to me like I'm 5.
Yeah.
Why was Ace Steel getting fired a resolution to the possible Punk lawsuit? Because I don't follow
It's
that.
not that it's a resolution. It's just that they couldn't do anything with Punk or Ace until that was resolved. So until Punk decided that he wasn't interested in
Pursuing
bringing
legal
up,
action.
right?
Yeah.
Then they had to wait for that to kind of fade away.
Yeah, they didn't want to stir the pot anymore if they fired Ace Steel and then Punk Punk's like, that's it, I'm suing.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay,
so
now I understand.
To me, this means that we are on the right track.
Right. And truth be told, I think we've mentioned it before. Even with the absence of Punk and the absence of the Elite, they're still doing great work in AEW, and other people are stepping up and stepping up to the plate and fucking knocking it out of the park. So I mean, yeah, you don't want to keep them away forever or anything like that, but you want to make sure that everybody comes back right and ready to go and ready to do business and do good business with one another and stuff like that. And if they're not going to come back and do good business and be like, well, you know what? Look at what we're doing without you here. Maybe we need to rethink things,
The only person that would do that would be Punk. The Elite's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
I don't know, man.
Go on.
Okay. You have my attention.
WWE's made grasps at them before.
Oh, they've made fucking overt get down on their knees with a fucking box-shaped box of chocolates and a fucking bouquet of roses, saying, "Please, Kenny Omega."
I thought
please,
this was
young
going
bucks.
somewhere else real quick.
No,
as soon as you said get down on their knees.
No,
and I'm
man.
like, what?
No, man. Get your mind out of the gutter and be a real gentleman. You
give him the old Gluck Gluck to come wrestle.
Yeah.
No.
No, but
quack, quack.
I'm saying that they were more than interested there.
Right.
And, I don't know that this whole situation may not leave a bitter taste in the mouth of the Elite.
I mean, so riddle me this, though. I mean, in the case of them, like we've said before, we don't figure they're going anywhere because they're the EVPs or whatever. They help basically build this company. I don't think anybody would have assumed that Cody was ever going to come back to WWE, but that
Right.
happened. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah, he was an EVP. He helped build AEW.
And
So
he came back to WWE or whatever. So I mean, like,
let me play devil's advocate.
yeah,
So you're the Elite, right? Okay. And Kenny's had his title run. The Young Bucks had their title run.
Wait,
whatever.
hold on. Let me get into frame of mind. I'm the Elite. North Carolina. All right, go.
Super kick party. Okay, so, all right. So
I actually am wearing a Bullet Club shirt tonight. So
you see them spending all this money, all this
Mhm.
big money,
Yep.
on guys like Punk,
Yep.
on Danielson,
Mhm.
Keith Lee, Adam Cole, etc. Adam Cole's their friend, obviously.
Is Adam Cole cleared to wrestle again, or is he still injured?
I think he's still injured.
Fuck. Okay.
So, but that's fine. Like he was working. I think he was like Kenny Omega, like working injured for a long time. Let him get really healthy. Anyway, so you see all this happen. Then you see like them kind of bouncing the big title between like all these WWE cast-offs, right? As the creative control is slowly being pulled away from you, and really your executives in name only. And then you have what happens with Punk happen. So everybody's pissed off. And you're thinking, okay, well, you know what? We're going to come back. It'll be fine. Punk will get fired. Punk doesn't get fired. Punk comes back. He is a, prime chip in things, which could very well be the case. That leaves a little bit of a taste in your mouth, right? Then you see a guy like Adam Page get hurt by Moxley, who's an ex-WWE guy who worked stiff. Then you start thinking, okay, well, this is kind of, and I'm not blaming Moxley. I'm just saying, like, that could be a factor. I'm not trying to stir the pot here. I'm just saying, I think that if the chips fall a certain way, absolutely the Elite could be for sale.
Probably not wrong.
Wow.
I'd be interested to see though if that's the case. If Kenny and the Bucks, or any combination, if just him or just them or whatever, were to leave, I wonder if Tony Khan will take this as kind of a learning lesson to not put like an active wrestler in an EVP position or whatever. I mean, like, Jericho's probably the one exception, because correct me if I'm wrong. He does have some sort of. Does he have any sort of like official position with?
Who's that?
Jericho. Does he have a position within AEW, like behind the scenes?
I mean, Tony Khan talks a lot of shit because he's like, oh yeah, these veterans like Jericho and Danielson and Punk, they're like
No,
Moxley,
but I mean, like,
they're like
but he doesn't
back
have
office guys.
Well, I was gonna say, but he doesn't have like an official title, like he's not an EVP, like how
No,
how the Bucks work. Okay,
no.
all right,
no.
All right, okay. So I wonder though if Tony, if the chips would fall that certain way, I wonder if Tony would look at that and go, all right, you know what? We had active wrestlers acting as EVPs before. Not going to make that same mistake again, and he actually puts in, whoever as EVPs or whatever. It'd be really interesting to see where they go.
He should have learned that lesson after the Elite Punk incident.
Mm-hmm.
Like it shouldn't take the Elite leaving for him to go, oh, I wonder if this was a bad decision.
I
like,
mean, you're not wrong, but not everybody figures it out the first time around.
Well, right, but like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, he's a smart businessman.
If he didn't figure it out then, I don't know, like, when he will.
Right.
Because that entire incident happened because Punk mouthed off. The Elite thought, well, we're bigwigs, we're executive vice presidents. You can't do that to us. So now we're going to go strut and throw our weight around. Like, that should have been a lesson learned right there, and it shouldn't take them leaving to, get Tony Khan to go like, oh boy, maybe I made a blunder here. Early. Plus, you have to also think
Leader.
what do their contracts look like? Because if they still have like 3 years left on their contracts, I mean, hell, by the time their contracts run out, this very well may be a moot point.
Right.
Like they could get over any sort of hurt feelings that they currently have. Hell, even a year is a long time. Who knows what could possibly happen there? I don't want to try to throw a monkey wrench into Beef's excitement or, be that guy that's always dragging everybody down. But I just.
Oh, I'm not excited. I don't think the Elite belong in WWE.
No,
I don't
not
think that they would flow.
Not that. With the whole like Punk and Elite working things out and, rainbows and sunshine and everybody's going to work well together and it's going to be great and everybody's going to learn a lesson. Like the Elite, sure, they have the potential. But really, I think at this juncture, I think Punk's an old dog. And the saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks. I keep revisiting it in my head. Look
if
at this
you incentivize that old dog well enough, he will learn a new trick. That's a mistake. You can't teach you can't teach an old dog trick with the same old treats.
Not everybody's a whore for money.
But CM Punk is absolutely a whore for money. You can say what you want to say, but he is absolutely a whore for money.
He's a wrestling prostitute.
And again, I'm a CM Punk guy. I love CM Punk. I think that's he's a fucking generational talent. But I will readily admit that he is a fucking slut for money. He has all these fucking lofty ideals that he talks about
for money.
That he talks about, doing things as the moral minority, and that he is the voice of the voiceless, and this, that, and the other thing. Bullshit, Punk. He came back to AEW.
He fucking did
because he likes money. And if Triple H and Vince McMahon had offered him the suitcases of money that AEW did, he'd be in WWE right now.
So that's not my entire point. My point is that this dude has a habit of getting mad, getting spicy, mouthing off, and basically thinking that I'm untouchable and I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to say whatever I want. You can say all the live long day that like, well, that's the Punk package. That's what you pay for. But I don't see Punk coming back. If he does, if they work it out, I don't see him coming back and lasting his AEW career, having the rest of it being rainbows and sunshine. I would be willing to put money down that it's a matter of time. Give it half a year, year and a half, there'll be another incident. Maybe not a brawl, maybe not a fight, but another incident that gets enough negative attention that's like, oh, there he goes. Punk's at it again. He's at it again. He's mouthing off. He's getting pissed. He's running people down. He's starting his shit. Like I really think that that's a foregone conclusion. Because, I mean, it happened multiple times in WWE. It's happened here already in AEW, and he hasn't even been here that long. Like, it's going to happen. Like, I'm willing to bet it's going to happen again. And I'm wondering when it's going to get to the point where it's not worth it anymore. And I think it'll get to that point because I know you're a Punk apologist, but looking at it from a business standpoint, if you take yourself away, you can only have so much.
Which aspect of business are you talking about, though? Because if you're talking about the business of bringing in ratings, that's CM Punk, baby.
Yeah, it is, but that's not all the business is cracked up to be. Like, that's
what WB Discovery cares about.
Well, maybe, but
WB Discovery doesn't care if CM Punk is frothing at the mouth, talking down every other wrestler in the backstage, getting them all into fights, spreading all kinds of cancer. WB Discovery doesn't care about that shit. You know what they care about? Numbers. They care about ratings. They care about dollars in their pocket. As long as CM Punk continues to deliver ratings and dollars in pockets, which he will, I will tell you that he will continue to do so. Now, if more so now than ever, in spite of all this.
Maybe, but you're envisioning Punk coming back and having all this longevity. This dude got hurt back to back.
Agreed.
He cannot continue to bring in money if he's on the shelf. So he keeps getting hurt. He keeps causing problems. He keeps mouthing off. He continues to be a locker room cancer. None of that equates to positive cash flow. Because you're paying this dude all this money, and he's just going to continue to be negative. And if he continues to get the factoring in is if he continues to get hurt. If he's healthy the rest of his career, he could probably last. Despite being a cancer, he could probably last. But if he keeps getting hurt and keeps spending time on the shelf, you're not making money. You're costing money. You're bleeding money at that point.
Are you saying they're going to Bobby Fish him?
I think you have to manage his snaps. I think if you're Tony Khan, I think you have to take him aside and have very real conversations. First off, Punk, yes, we love you because you bring eyes to our product because you're controversial, but we can't have you having fucking fights. This isn't a fucking fraternity party. Also, Punk,
that sticks.
Also, Punk, we can't have you wrestling on Wednesday the 23rd. We can't have you, maybe treat him like Sting. Maybe once in a great while, you have him wrestle on Dynamite for like one of your big Dynamites. But you save him for pay-per-views, man. And you have him tone his style down. Did Punk need to be doing a fucking suicide plancha? No. You know how many times I've seen Punk do a suicide plancha in his fucking career?
Once, and then he was on the shelf for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, no, he's on the shelf from All Out till whenever. That night was the only time I've seen him do a fucking suicide dive like that. The only time. And here's news: when you're fucking 39 or whatever Punk is, that's not the time to be adding something new into your repertoire. Especially not something new and dumb like a suicide dive. So, I think you have to manage his expectations and say, Punk, you're here for the greatest hits. Drop the elbow. Throw a fucking Cobra, not the key lock, the Pepsi, what's it called? The Anaconda Vice.
Anaconda Vice, yeah.
Yeah, maybe if it's a blood feud, we'll let you do a Pepsi plunge. But, that's it. Don't fucking try to do Canadian Destroyers. Don't sit there and do fucking super kicks. And yes, I understand that leashing a dog like Punk is not going to fucking work. That's why you have to have it be like a community effort. You got to have people that Punk trusts. And I think that's why Ace Steel was there. But you have to talk with Punk on his level and get him to understand that in order for everybody to make a lot of money, which I think they still can with CM Punk, that they have to limit his snaps and have to limit his snaps.
I mean, that's also you're working under the assumption that that you can sit him down and have these conversations and have him be receptive to them. If he's not, where do you go from there if he's not? If he's like, no, that's not going to work for me.
Then
I don't think he comes back. I don't think he comes back if he's not willing to have those discussions. I think he, just like he did with WWE, he rides out his contract here. But if Punk, I think it's time for Punk to put his money where his mouth is. If Punk is here because he loves wrestling, because he loves the fans, because he wants to try and help the product, Punk needs to swallow his own ego and realize that what's best for business is not him taking and airing out dirty laundry on the fucking program and not wrestling every fucking Wednesday night.
I think that's going to be a big if. I think that's going to be a big ask. Because like you said, he's a whore for money.
Well, it's not even that he's a whore for money. It's the fact that his ego will get in the way. Like, I mean, Punk, like, I think he is well aware of the fact that he's not what he used to be. And I mean,
if his ego will allow him to swallow that.
Well, but that's kind of the idea, is that it's like, you know, at a certain point, you have to realize what you are, who you are, and what you deal. When he came back, he came out and basically gave his manifesto and said, I'm here for the younger guys. I'm here for this. I'm here for that. Then, man, you got to back that shit up and get out of your own way. Like, you really
I don't know
do.
if I've seen that, though. Like,
No,
I don't know if I've seen that since he came back. Like, I don't know that he's lived up to those expectations or to those promises.
I don't think that that's fair, because I think that there was absolutely a plan in place for Punk to beat Moxley, and Punk to have the title through the summer, and then to put MJF over big time in Chicago and have MJF take that title. So I think absolutely Punk's eyes were to the future. The problem is, no, there's no maybe. Like, that's what was going to happen. Like, by all reports, that is exactly what was going to happen. And, you know, the fact that CM Punk limped down with a broken foot to, like, you know, calm MJF down after the MJF's pipe bomb, like, that tells me that story was there. But, like, it's just unfortunate summer. You know, it was an unfortunate summer. We'll never know what was going to be, but I like that absolutely was going to be something in play. Like, CM Punk was going to make Max, he was absolutely going to make him a made man, as if he's not already. Like, that was going to be what happened. And to me, that would have been a big part of Punk's legacy, was leaving that behind in AEW.
I mean, yeah, time will tell. I'm not an anti-Punk guy. It's just, I have a hard time seeing people break patterns. I mean, it's been done. It's been done before.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's something about CM Punk that tells me that he's all ego. You know, he's driven by that.
He's not Ethan Page.
And, well, something tells me that Punk is just, he's driven by ego. He won't get out of his own way, and he'll continue to make the mistakes of the past, where he gets mad, he gets feisty, he gets pissed, he gets hurt. And I don't know. Like, I foresee it happening. I don't want it to. I'm not hoping it does. You know, I don't look at Punk like Tom looks at Goldberg. I don't hope for Punk to fail. I don't hope for Punk to get fired. You know, I think, you know, if he does what's right, he could benefit from AEW, and AEW could benefit from him. I have my doubts that that's something that's going to wind up happening.
I think
that's fair.
I think that I don't know. My thing is, I don't want to see Punk burn out. I don't want to see the end of his career be I don't want it to be like a sad state of affairs where we have to sit there and kind of lament the times whenever Punk was really at his best. Because, I mean, if you really want to look at it and you really want to be as objective as possible, Punk has always been this way. He always has. He really, like, he's always been controversial. He's always been opinionated. He's never been afraid to say what he thinks, no matter who, you know, no matter who is listening. And on one hand, there's merit to that, But on the other hand, you do need a little bit of prudence and a little bit of judiciousness.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that just 100% goes against Punk's ethos, period. And that's kind of the problem, is when I say he needs to just get out of his own way. We've said that about Punk. Hell, even Beef has said that once or twice. And
absolutely.
And he has, if he would just get out of his own fucking way, he'd
be the greatest of all time.
He would be, honest to God, I really believe, heralded up there with the greatest wrestlers, not only character work, but in-ring storytelling of all time. But the problem is, Punk cannot get out of his own fucking way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to worship at the fucking altar of Punk here. But I mean, let's have a real fucking conversation about this. Had Punk not left after that Royal Rumble out of frustration, Daniel Bryan probably never would have been champion. Or at least would not have had that WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania 30. I think that if Punk doesn't leave and set that whole thing into motion, I think that Punk or that Daniel Bryan and Sheamus probably end up right where they were supposed to be, which was on the pre-show. So, like, the dude rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I think that he absolutely had the wrestling acumen to be the greatest of all time. I think he had the chops to be the greatest of all time on the mic, and absolutely had the best brain. But Poot is 1,000,000% right. The dude just can't stay out of his own lane. He is like the human version of the video game Snake. He can't stop eating his tail because he gets so big and so large. There's just nowhere else for him to go but to eat his own tail, and then he crashes and burns.
Wrong that I thought as soon as you said he's like Snake, I was thinking Snake,
Snake, Snake,
and I was just thinking Punk.
No, but that's the thing is, and I think maybe I'm worried that CM Punk's legacy is going to become a cautionary tale.
Yeah,
like I'm really worried that it's going to be that way. Like, we're going to be able to look at it on one hand and go, for lack of a better term, I did it my way. But then the other thing, it's going to be, oh, I did it my way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. I hate saying it because he is so damn good. And he does deliver, and he is a spectacle, and he is larger than life. And again, those things deserve merit, but I mean, fucking it's the argument that I've made for a couple people in my life recently, where I've gone, if you would just use the tools that you're given, you'd be unstoppable. You'd be unstoppable. If you have all the tools at your disposal, why the fuck not use them? Or why not use them in an appropriate manner? Like, CM Punk has all the tools. He has the look, he has the attitude, he has the talent, he has the drive, he has the foresight. He has everything he needs. All he has to do is focus it in a correct way, and he would be unyieldingly unstoppable. But he will not fucking get out of his own way. And he will not bend. Like, there has to be room for mitigation. There has to be room for compromise at some point. When there's not, then you're just being a dick face. You know what I mean? You're just being a dickhead. Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
I think that the next 6 months are going to be big for AEW. I think that they lost their way a little bit. I'll be the first to say that. And I think that absolutely TK is losing the locker room a little bit. Because they had another incident on Dark where apparently allegedly Athena went into business for herself and went a little bit stiffer on a local talent.
Oh
But
no!
but that local talent is also a Mick Foley type, where she takes crazy fucking bumps. So like, who knows what was planned? What was
maybe?
That's what it sounded like. But I mean, again, we'll not know because we are not flies on that wall. But that's what I, have garnered. And until we hear from the local talent and Athena, who knows what's what. But I think that
Right.
they're, it's like being a toddler, like, you're born, oh, you're cute, everybody loves you. And then you're a toddler and everyone's like, oh my God, get the fuck out of their way. Just let them do their thing. They'll tire out eventually.
Can confirm.
And then they start to become little people. And then you start to see what they're going to be. I think that AEW is in kind of that toddler phase here. This is what, like year 3 or 4 for them. They're middling to find themselves.
Well,
they have a bunch of talents. They have a lot of ego. And they have a management structure that's questionable.
Yeah.
What happens in the next 6 to 8 months, I think, reveals a lot about where they are as a company and who they're going to be.
I think that we all called it. I think every wrestling outlet, every podcast, every YouTube channel, every dirt sheet, everyone said that, when AEW sprinted out of the gate, everything was awesome. We were in the honeymoon phase, but everybody had the wherewithal to go, eventually AEW is going to go through some growing pains.
But here's the thing. They're still putting on Dynamite last night, or Tuesday night, with the exception of the bummer of the main event because they had to stop the match, was fucking awesome. They still put out banger after banger after banger after banger. They are doing the fucking work. It's just all this backstage stuff is making everybody going, oh, it's like WCW. Bullshit. WCW never had the in-ring content that AEW does. And you can have all this, this is...
Except for the Cruiserweight division, let's be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. This is the epitome of the meme with the dog drinking his coffee with the fucking fire around him. That's AEW right now. All this backstage bullshit going on, the fire raging, dog's just sitting there going, yep, this is fine. And it is. They're in talks that Ring of Honor is going to get a show here pretty quick. That's the newest, latest, and greatest that I'm hearing is that Ring of Honor is going to get syndicated, which is great news. I think that opens up a lot of pathways to a lot of talents. And I mean, they're, like I said, they're still having great content. Until they stop having great content, I have no worries about AEW at all.
So I want to talk again. Not again. That was wrong phrasing. I want to talk about something that I really can't stop watching when it comes to WWE. And that is the interactions between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. I'm
telling you.
I'm thoroughly entertained.
Yep.
By what Sami Zayn and the Bloodline are doing. This is some of the best work I think I've seen Sami Zayn do. He's just weekly.
I'm telling
this
you.
Dude is on fire. The Bloodline are supposed to be the serious, like in the rings, So, what's the guy's name? Solo
Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa, just mean mugging everywhere. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and week after week, Sami Zayn is so on fire that he breaks at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of them is having to turn away from the camera or just flat out breaking on camera because they can't contain it because this dude is so funny and so entertaining I am so interested to see where this goes
Yep.
with the like. I never would have thought that I would have entertained the phrase, maybe Sami Zayn is the one that
I
takes
fucking
one
told
of the
you.
titles off of Roman Reigns.
I said that. I
did.
said that 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you guys stared at me like I had a third fucking eye.
Yeah, no, you did. Beef called it before I ever saw it. But
Well-
now I keep seeing it, and I keep thinking like, damn, I wonder if Sami Zayn's going to be the guy. I mean, I don't know if he's going to take both belts, but like, maybe he takes one of these belts.
So, regardless if Sammy takes it or not, I want to point out one thing though that has been really a credit to Sami Zayn and how good a character work he's doing. So, whenever Sammy came out with with Roman and them, and they had the whole thing when Sammy had his match with Riddle, when they were out there and the crowd was chanting for Sammy. Do you notice the one thing that he did, or rather what he didn't do? He didn't acknowledge the crowd. And by not acknowledging the crowd, it keeps that character in check. It keeps him as, not as an opposing, it keeps him like still, quote unquote, under the thumb of the bloodline or whatever. It doesn't, he's not saying anything to them like, hey, look, I'm like, they're cheering for me and they're not saying anything about you or anything like that. It keeps his character true to itself. And I think that's something that probably a lot of people like really didn't stop to think about. But that is so good. And like, you're doing you're doing your job right and doing some of the best character work when you can stay in character like that and not let the crowd affect you. Like there are times when it calls for it, like if you're a heel and the crowd starts chanting something, starts chanting or whatever, like the Miz, like when my hand goes up, your mouths go shut or whatever, this and that. There sometimes the character calls for there to be a little bit of back and forth play with the crowd, but Sammy's character is that of he's there to completely like back up the bloodline, and he's taking his role of the honorary Uso so seriously as a character. He's doing quite arguably some of the best work of his career as a character.
So Beef,
out there.
Beef, are you anticipating that Sami Zayn either stumbles his way into a match with Roman Reigns and winds up legitimately beating him, or is this going to be more of a turn? Is he going to turn on the bloodline and turn on Roman Reigns and try to take those titles? Because I really could envision it going either way. Like somehow they get put in a match together and Sammy's reluctant. He's like, what am I going to do? Like I'm in this match with you. Like I got to do it. And he winds up beating him, and in beating Roman Reigns, like he's shocked. He can't believe it. Like I didn't mean to do it. Like it wasn't supposed to happen this way. Or do you think it's a full-blown, like, I planned this from the beginning, and I took these titles from you?
No, man. I present to you option C, where Roman turns on Sammy. And, like, it just breaks Sammy's heart, and it breaks the crowd's heart. It gets Roman even over bigger as a heel.
There's
fucking, like, KO and fucking Riddle and, like, people come to Sammy's rescue and they post up against the bloodline, and I think it could really be a fucking like Mick Foley situation where you have Mick Foley beat The Rock, and DX comes out and lifts Mick Foley up on their shoulders, and I think it could be one of those situations. I don't know that was the end game, but I'm telling you right now, like, I think the crowd would absolutely eat it up. Even if Sami Zayn is fucking champion for a week, man, like, you try to take that away from him and he'll sock you in the mouth. Once it's done, man. And I think the crowd would buy into it big time. and or maybe you have fucking Sammy beat Roman with the help of his buddies, and then you have a fucking repeat of NXT where Kevin Owens just fucking decimates him and kick off a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud. There are so many places that you can go with it.
You could even have because they're already sowing the seeds for it. Like, which one is it? Is it Jimmy or Jay that's always like scowling and kind of has the problem with Sammy like being the honorary use?
Fuck,
I think it's Jay.
I think it's Jay. Yeah.
So I mean, they're sowing those seeds so that you very well could have it like where they, like you said, Sammy could stumble into a match with Roman, and Jimmy ends up basically help Sammy go over or something like that, just to stick it to Roman's face because he feels like, well, you let this fool in here and this is your bed, now you got to lay in it, sort of thing, and it the bloodline implodes from within or whatever. There are a lot of avenues that you could go with it.
Yeah, man, I think doing it that way gets Roman and potentially Jay out of the title picture, thus letting Sammy have his own thing. I honestly think that we're gonna see something happen before that, though. I think that somehow, some way, Roman drops one of those titles between now and WrestleMania.
Oh, really? One, not both?
I do. Yep. And I think it's probably going to be the Universal title.
Yeah.
Which one has he had for 800 days? That's the WWE title, right?
Yes. And I think it would be appropriate to kind of give that belt the prestige again because it's the legacy belt.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, let him lose the one that he beat Lesnar for WrestleMania, and then go from there. Yeah, but I don't know, man. There's so much up in the air right now because there's tremblings that Theory may lose that Money in the Bank before he cashes it in. Gargano, Owens, things like that make a lot of sense. Because Austin Theory was never a Triple H guy; he was always a Vince guy.
Yeah, but if Sammy's the one that somehow ends up taking a title off of Roman, that's an easy way to have Theory make that cash in believable because we know that Theory's not going to cash in on Roman. If he does, they haven't started a build with him yet for that, to build towards that. So they gotta make it somewhat believable. You would have to build him up. I mean, there's obviously the Cody route or whatever for whenever he's healthy and comes back. So we'll see if Roman doesn't drop one of those titles by like Royal Rumble, then he ain't dropping anything until at least Mania. I'll say that.
I wonder if Sammy beats Theory for the briefcase. How Roman, how Roman's all about like keeping everything in the bloodline.
True.
Like how smart would that be? And have it be a situation where either Sammy gets kicked out or Sammy sees a fucking opportunity, and that's when the wise man is like, well, that briefcase was for one of the belts, so and then kind of go from there. I don't know. I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall at this point, but yeah, man, like there's that undeniably. The fucking bloodline is like the place to be right now. They are the ones, I saw a guy in Busch Gardens last week wearing a Roman shirt, and I said, "We the ones," and I put the one up, and he goes, "You already know." Put the one up, and we walked our different ways.
Nice.
That's how pervasive this is, man. So this is a big deal, and I'm loving every second of it.
So, because the bloodline is such a big deal, would you assume that whenever one of those belts comes off of Roman, like if it's Sammy, that it's not going to be a bloodline collapse? Like it's strictly just going to be Sammy. Because Sammy seems real tight with Solo. Like, do you think it could be like a Solo and Sammy turn on the bloodline and like it collapses in on itself? Or because the bloodline is rolling so well, if something were to happen with Sammy in one of those titles, it would just be him.
I think so. My and like I said, this is literally fucking Pandora's heel turn here or face turn or whatever. Like this could go any number of ways, man. But like honestly, I feel like the best thing to do is to have Roman kick Sammy out of the bloodline and get all of that oh poor Sammy vibes, and have Solo and like Jimmy be like, yo man, that's not cool. And Roman be like, nope, you're gonna fall in line because I'm the big dog, because I'm the head of the table, I'm the tribal chief. And then like you start to have that kind of fracturing there to the point where maybe either Solo or Jimmy or both have helped Sami Zayn beat Roman, and then kind of go for there. Title, no title, whatever. I think that absolutely could be something that happens, and then have the probably have the bloodline start to splinter.
What if? And I know this is still, it's still a ways away, but what if Sammy wins the Royal Rumble? Then he's guaranteed a title shot.
So
go. You know what I mean? So there's that. You could go that route. I think regardless of how they go about it, I feel like
no, Brock Lesnar's just going to win this year's Rumble too. Don't be coy.
Don't do it.
No, because you have a returning Cody Rhodes at some point, so you got that. I mean, you got a couple different options to play with, but I think regardless of how they go about it, I feel like by end of WrestleMania and pretty much like the night after, I feel like the bloodline arc has to kind of end, because how much longer does Roman have to go before he breaks Bruno's record? I don't know what he's at now.
A while.
Bruno had it for years.
Okay,
Bruno had it for
10 years, didn't he?
10 years, yeah.
At one point. Okay, all right, never mind. All right, so I mean, Roman's already up there in high regards. Like I don't know where he ranks as far as longest reigning. Obviously, nobody's gonna beat Bruno, but I feel like by the time WrestleMania rolls around, I feel like the bloodline thing will be over, and that's always the reset button for WWE and everything like that. So it would make sense. It'll be interesting to see how they go about it, though, getting to that point. But if that's, I feel like that's a strong possibility, and it also really depends on, again, like I mentioned about like Cody being in the picture or not. It depends on if he's back by Royal Rumble or not. I don't know.
That's also if they still have plans.
Yeah,
for Cody as the champ, like those plans could have changed.
That's it.
Rumor had it that Cody is on pace to be back for an early return. That he was going to come back for day one in Atlanta. Well, now day one is not ish anymore. So.
I see what you did there.
So yeah, man, like that's but yeah, so I think he'll be back for the Rumble for sure. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot in play for sure coming up.
I like that. I like that idea though. I think that's an interesting idea. Like you have Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble, and that's how Sami Zayn winds up getting kicked out of the bloodline, where Roman either wants him to just relinquish it and just say, nope, I won the Royal Rumble, but I'm deciding not to do anything with it. And Sami kind of going like, well, no, I earned this. Or, Roman Reigns expecting Sami Zayn to lay down for him and Sami refusing to do so. And that's how he gets kicked out of the bloodline. That's interesting.
Or, feel me out here, what if Kevin Owens wins the Rumble? and then Sami Zayn is caught in between a rock and a hard place. Like his best friend forever versus like his new buddies. Like I don't know, man. Like things just this absolutely just makes itself. Yeah, there are a lot of good ways to go, and unlike before, where I felt like we could count on WWE to fuck it up, I really don't feel like that's the case anymore.
No,
I
this has so many different possibilities to succeed. Like the Sami Zayn bloodline, that's right. The Sami Zayn bloodline story has so many different ways that it could resolve itself, and I think WWE could make any of those possibilities. WWE, I think Triple H could make any of those possibilities work really well.
Yeah.
With Gunther as the U.S. or the IC champion, Rollins as the United States champion. I mean, like things are going well, man. I don't want to put my mouth on trouble, but like I really feel like things are really in the right direction. So yeah, I am cautiously optimistic. Which
So
is a feeling I haven't had about WWE in a long time.
Yeah, 100%. So with Cody on the mend, and with him reportedly or allegedly being supposed to come back for day one, but now that day one's not happening, do you think they save his return for the Royal Rumble, or do you think they have him come back at like a Raw or something before the Rumble?
Cody,
I think saving him for the Rumble would be a smart idea, but that's a long stretch. That's a stretch.
It'd be better. You'd get a bigger pop for sure.
I mean, if the Rumble's happening in January anyway, and he was going to be coming back January 1st for day one, why not just save him a few more days and have him make a big return at the Rumble?
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I mean, and obviously, regardless, the internet wrestling community and us, will already be, putting those feelers out there, be like, okay, well, who's going to be one of the surprise entrants? Well, it's got to be Cody because it's about that time. So,
oh yeah, if he hasn't come back before the Rumble, then absolutely he's got to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But speaking of foregone conclusions, how about we do a little bit of Stump the Chumps, huh?
Oh man,
poor Pat.
I know, right?
Let's do it.
Hey, he got us. Oh no, he almost got us that one time when we Ransom pulled it out of nowhere. That one time recently.
That one time?
Well, okay, fair. But like, yeah, I mean, Ransom has been largely responsible for a lot of our wins as of late.
Suck it, Pat.
Oh, poor Pat. All right, so here we go, boys. We all know The Undertaker has the most WrestleMania wins. Who has the second and third most?
Oh.
Well, it's definitely not Triple H because he has a ton of losses.
Definitely not Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Shawn has a ton of losses too. Hogan's got to be up there.
You said the most wins other than the Taker?
Yep.
Third. I would absolutely put John Cena in that running.
Randy Orton. I feel like Randy Orton's up there.
Well, let's see. Hogan won WrestleMania 1. Hogan won WrestleMania 2. Hogan won WrestleMania 3. He did not win. Well, he did win. No, he did not. He did win a match. Hogan won WrestleMania 5. Hogan lost WrestleMania 6. Hogan won WrestleMania 7. Hogan won WrestleMania 8. Hogan won WrestleMania 9.
Well,
so that's 7 off the top of my head.
Yeah. Oh, and then don't forget with him and Rock. Was that was
yeah, but he didn't win that. Rock won that.
Did Rock? Okay, sorry. I don't know why.
So that's 7. I'm hard pressed to find more than 7. Because I don't think anybody else had the longevity.
Well, what about so
Cena had 20, 21, 22. I think 23 is when he faced Michaels.
Are you saying wins or are you saying matches?
Wins.
Wins.
23. I think 23 is when he faced Michaels and he won that. 24, he was in a triple threat. He did not win that one. 25, I think, was Batista. He won that one. 26, that was the one in Arizona. I'm sketchy on that one. 27, he did not win because that was against The Miz. 28 was once in a lifetime. He did not win. 29, he won. 30 was Wyatt. No, 30 was 30 was Wyatt. He won. 31 was Rusev. He won. So that's 8. 32. Fuck, who was 32?
Never let it be said
He was hurt for 32.
Never let it be said that Beef is not a John Cena fan.
No, Beef is a WrestleMania fan. So Cena, I have at least 8. Maybe. 32. He was hurt.
I would.
Because
do you want my gut reaction? Because I don't have the statistics that Beef does. Wow, that was.
No, I'm just thinking through a couple things.
Gun to my head, I would say, because obviously Taker has the most wins. That's obviously like.
Yeah.
But I would say my gut reaction was Orton and H.
Triple H doesn't have a ton of wins. No way. There's no way Triple H. There's no way Triple H has more than 7 wins.
I was saying, those were my 2 gut reactions for Orton and H. Like
Triple H debuted WrestleMania 12. He beat Warrior. Warrior beat him.
He didn't. Warrior. Yeah. That was his.
Warrior
that was one of his fucking punishments.
13. I don't remember. No, Triple H was Triple H at 13? I don't remember. 14, he was in a European title match with Owen Hart, maybe?
What about?
No, that was a DX rated one, so maybe. 15 was Rock Austin.
Wait, who? Okay, hang on. Wait. So we're saying Hogan's one of them, right?
Hogan has 7 that I counted. Cena has 8 that I know for sure.
What about Bret Hart? Because we also have to think outside
the Hart Foundation, right?
I was gonna say we have to think outside of the main events too. You know what I mean? Like you could have had somebody. So who else has been longevity? Like Kane was around for a long time.
Kane was.
I knew I threw Orton's name
Kane's
out.
Kind of a good guess too.
Like I knew I threw Orton's name out there, but now I'm trying to think back. I'm like, he might have been in the kind of the camp of like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, where he had a lot of matches, but he lost a lot.
Right.
So.
Hart beat Piper at WrestleMania 8, lost at 9, won at 10, 11. What was 11?
So we're only looking for 2 names, though, right? We're looking for 2 and 3. Okay.
So Hart lost at 11, lost at 12. Or no, he would have won at 11, I think. He won at 13. So that's 3 or 4, depending. And then he was pretty much out of there by WrestleMania 14. He came back to beat WrestleMania. He came back to beat Vince at WrestleMania 26. So that was 5. I imagine that the Hart Foundation got at least 1 or 2 wins at WrestleMania. So that could put him in the 7-ish mark.
Yeah.
Rock, I don't think had the longevity. Austin didn't have the longevity. Jericho didn't have the wins. I don't think he had a ton of wins. Well,
who's that?
Jericho. Because WrestleMania 2000, which was 16, he won the European title.
Yeah. All right. So
17, he beat Regal, or no?
what we got to think of who's been around for the most.
That's what I'm doing with Jericho. Jericho, I think, is a sneaky one.
Are we sure about Triple H? Because I'm thinking back to some of the other stuff, and I'm like,
well, he lost to Cena at 22. He lost to Batista at 21. He lost to Benoit at 20. He beat Booker T at 19. He what was 18 for Triple H? Was 18, I think. 18 may have been Undertaker. We know he didn't lose that. And he's lost the Undertaker 3 times at WrestleMania. I just don't think Triple H has enough wins. Like when we're talking about 7 or 8, he lost to Seth Rollins. He lost to Roman Reigns. Like he's had a lot of matches at WrestleMania, but he hasn't had a lot of wins.
Okay.
I think Triple H has more he has more losses than wins, but over the course of history though, he has been in a crap ton of WrestleManias. I'm willing to bet that Triple H is up there.
I feel like
his losses outweigh the wins, but I think the wins are pretty high.
I think he's pretty close. I don't know.
Because I fail to see many people other than Undertaker that have more Mania appearances than Triple H.
Well then let me walk it back then. So he lost to Warrior at WrestleMania, that's for sure. I think that was WrestleMania 12.
What the fuck was that?
My nose is running.
Okay, go catch it.
I'm not sure. That's terrible.
I know.
I'm not sure about his involvement at WrestleMania 13.
I get that.
Which one was 13?
That was the one with Undertaker and Sid, and I think Brett versus Diesel, maybe? No, 13 was Brett versus Austin. I'm an idiot. Undertaker, Diesel.
Yeah.
Or Undertaker, Sid, rather.
Undertaker, Sid.
Right.
But he could have. I was gonna say.
I think he may have been hurt for that one, maybe. I don't know. So that's the same. Like Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I'm not solid on.
But I don't think he was hurt for that one. He was hurt for the 98 Rumble because he wasn't in that because he came out hurt and cost who? Owen Hart.
Right.
Because that's when he was feuding with Owen Hart.
So that would have been
he was hurt then.
14.
But he wrestled in 14 though because he beat Owen Hart with the help of Chyna.
Okay.
That's when Chyna was handcuffed to Slaughter.
Gotcha.
Hang on. Walk it back even further. What about whenever Triple H was like feuding with Goldust and stuff?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe Triple H versus Goldust may have been at 13. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds
13,
right.
like 13 or 14.
But I'm not sure if Goldust won or not.
All right. So
I think it was one of those situations where Triple H, where it was Chyna and Marlena, and they got tangled up.
So
I think Marlena got hurt. Goldust was distracted, and Triple H may have beat him. Am I remembering? Okay, so that's that would be 2. I would give him as like Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I feel like with Triple H, if it is him, and I'm still with Ransom on this, like where, like.
You're completely veering my train of thought off the road, man.
I'm sorry. Like the losses still outweigh the wins, but I feel like he's still got a lot. I feel like
so we'll say we'll say 13 he won versus Goldust. 14 he beat Owen. 15 I don't remember. That was the one with the Kennel from Hell match, or not Kennel from Hell, but the Boss Man versus Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell match. and Rock versus Austin. Billy Gunn was in the hardcore match. Road Dogg was in the Intercontinental title match. I don't remember Triple H at all in WrestleMania 15. WrestleMania 16, he won the Fatal 4-Way, which was WrestleMania 2000. He won the Fatal 4-Way to win. WrestleMania 17. My gut tells me he was hurt for 17 as well. I'm not 100% on that, but I feel like I can't remember anything solid that he did.
He might have been hurt for that one, yeah.
Well, we know in the later years, like we know he lost to
Tom,
Taker.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
18 he lost to Taker. 19 he beat Booker T. 20 he lost to Benoit. 21 he lost to Batista. 22 he lost to Cena. 23 may have been another down year for Triple H. 24 he lost in the triple threat match to Orton and Cena and him. 25 was he maybe face Umaga? No.
Who's that, Umanga?
Umanga! Who's that, Umanga?
Oh, no. I think 25 is when he lost to Randy Orton. If I'm remembering correctly. 26. I can't fucking remember that one either. Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. Like, a lot of the later WrestleManias, Triple H kind of blurs out to me. And then, like... And in the 30s, he didn't win a lot either.
No.
In fact, I don't think he won any in the 30s.
No, he beat Sting. He beat Lesnar.
Oh, he did beat Sting. You're right. That was 31. When did he beat Lesnar?
It was before the Sting thing. I can't remember.
I don't think that was I don't think that was at a WrestleMania though.
It was. I just can't remember which one it was now. Fuck.
Really?
He
I
fought.
don't remember that.
Yep.
He fought Jericho at a Mania and won.
Yeah, WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania 18. So then 17 must have been the loss to the Undertaker. So that's 6 that we can remember.
I'm sure
he beat Orton. He beat Orton at a Mania.
Did he beat Orton or did he lose to Orton?
He might have lost Orton at one Mania, but he beat Orton at one. I think he beat Sheamus at one.
Okay, well, I mean that will put him at 8. He
beat Batista at the last time.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that's 9. Okay, so yeah, then that would leapfrog Triple H over Hogan.
Orton and Hogan.
So we only need 2 besides the Undertaker, correct?
Right.
So I would say confidently that we're probably together. Probably right. Triple H is probably one of them.
I think.
Okay.
Didn't he beat Lesnar at one of them too?
That's what I was
Tom
saying.
was saying. I don't remember that one in particular.
It was hold on. Because when Lesnar came back and ended up quote unquote breaking Triple H's arm.
Because Lesnar attacked he attacked Triple H, and then didn't he attack like one or a bunch of the McMahons? He attacked Shawn Michaels.
Because he F5'd Vince and shit and like broke his hip or whatever, and then Triple H like ended up exacting standing up for the family.
So I think we can say that Triple H is probably safely between 8 to 10 wins.
Yeah.
Which means I think that we can go ahead and call him probably number 2.
So probably him and Cena.
Oh, I forgot about Cena.
Yeah.
Cena doesn't have as many matches, but I think Cena probably has more wins than losses.
Well, like I said, he wasn't at 19. So 20 for sure. He won the US title. 21 he won the world title. WWE title. 22 he defended and beat Triple H. 23 he beat Shawn Michaels. 24 he lost. 25 he beat Batista, I think. 26 is a question mark. 27 he lost to The Miz. 28 he lost to The Rock. 29 he beat The Rock. 30 he beat Bray. 31, he beat Rusev. 32 is, I think he was hurt for that one. And then, like, he kind of petered off after that.
And then the one he had
with the Undertaker,
no.
right?
He had the mixed tag match with him and Nikki when they beat
Oh,
Miz and Maurice,
yeah.
and he
Yep.
proposed to her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
So that's 9 for him. Yeah, okay. I'm coming around on Cena.
Cena definitely didn't have as many matches as as a Triple H or a Kane, but we know for how long Cena was on top. Like, he was shoved down everybody's throats. Lol, Cena wins. Like, it's,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. Poor Poot has been quiet the entire time. So
No, because honestly, I know two things. Number one, when I have I go with my gut, because on this, I'm so rusty with like WWE Mania history. Beef is the encyclopedia on this one. I know my gut feeling is that I think it is H, and I think it's Orton. Like that those are what I came in. It's not that I'm sitting here being salty or anything. I'm literally sitting here listening and seeing.
Well, let's give Orton a shot. Let's give Orton a run.
I was gonna say you go for Orton, but like I feel like H is one. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. But just saying Cena, I feel like that's too much. That's one of those answers that I go.
Cena's at 9. Cena's at least 9, if not 10.
Okay.
Orton. So I don't remember. I don't think Orton had a match at 19. Orton was part of the Evolution at 20, and they beat Rock and Sock. 21, he lost to The Undertaker. 22, he lost to Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle. 23, I don't remember 23. 23 is a tough one for me, man. That was the one I think that had like Umaga and Lashley with Trump and Vince in the corners. And
was he involved in that one?
Orton?
Oh, no, he wasn't involved in that match, but he was involved in that. He was not involved in that Mania.
I don't think so. 24, he beat Triple H and Cena. 25, I think, is the one he lost to Triple H or Cena. 26, I think, is when he won a title at 26 because of the legacy, I think.
Oh,
even just being willing to entertain this Cena thing for me, I appreciate it.
27, I'm not sure of his involvement. 28, did he face Kane at 28?
one of them he faced Punk.
One of them he did face Kane.
And I know that he beat Punk because Punk was pissed because that was the whole Punk as a placeholder for Cena or whatever, or something like that.
20, I think it was 28 where he faced Kane, and I think he won that match. 29.
Didn't he wrestle Cena and Orton? No, Cena, Orton, and Triple H.
That was 24.
That was 24.
29 was the second Brooklyn one, or the second New York one. That may have been the K match. So 28, the question mark. 30, he was part of the triple threat match and lost. 31, he faced Rollins and won. 32, Dallas. See, I guess sketchy about the early 30s too.
Was he hurt for that one?
I think so. I think 32, they were flying pretty like new colors. Like they had a bunch of young guys in the IC title match. Ryder won. They were kind of invested in Roman at that point and Rollins. 33. I mean, I would
33
say
was Wyatt, wasn't it? Didn't he beat Wyatt?
that was 34. I think.
Oh, that was 34. Okay.
I think. I would put Orton comfortably between 6 and 8. So I still think it's Triple H by a nose, and then Cena.
I'm glad we both thought the same thing, Ransom.
Damn
Thank
it.
you.
I was sitting here just going,
you're-
for fuck's sake.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I still think it's Triple H and Cena. I think that Orton's probably close. I think that Hart's probably close.
So
Yeah.
would
I
you
think Kane is close too,
the
but
thing-
not over.
the thing that you're most comfortable with, it seems,
Wait
is
a minute.
H and Cena.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a minute. What about the hardcore title fuckery?
I don't.
What do you mean?
Like multiple wins during a
No.
night at Mania.
No.
No? Okay.
I don't
No.
think Orton was involved. Oh,
No.
Orton or Kane. Kane, I know, was a hardcore champion at one point, but I don't think he
Yeah,
had
but
any.
he wasn't for a long period of time.
But
I
but
don't think anybody in that match had the longevity at Manias.
You're talking about the WrestleMania 2000 match, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like that hardcore thing where
The
it just
Battle
bounced
Royal.
all around.
Right.
yeah.
I don't think
Right.
I don't think the people involved in that match had the longevity at Manias to have that many wins.
My only questions are Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart because
Brett's up there.
they were both around as tag teams before having successful mid-card single careers, before having main event singles. So like and with Shawn, we have to factor in his return as well.
Right, but I'll give you Hart as a maybe. I don't think he's above. I'll put this out there. I think it's. I don't know which one is which, but I'd say Triple H and Cena. I feel like Hart would be kind of close behind. Kane would be close behind. Hogan's right close behind. I think.
I'll tell you who's up there too is Roman. Had Roman not missed the COVID mania, I think that he'd be in this discussion too. I don't know that Roman Reigns has lost at WrestleMania.
Mm,
I don't know that he's been in that
many.
many,
He
though.
won
He's
at 29. He won at 29. He won at 30 as part of the Shield.
Okay.
He was part of, I guess, the loss of WrestleMania 31. He won the title at 32. He did something at 33. I don't recall exactly. I think he won the title again at 34.
He beat Taker.
Right. That was 33, I think. So that was 33. I think he won a title at 34, maybe. And then 35. I think he was out with his leukemia at 35.
Yeah.
36 is when if he was at that Mania, he probably would have beat Lesnar or Goldberg rather. And then 37 he won. That's when he had the double pin. And then this year 38 he won. So that's 6. So if he was at the COVID Mania, that would have been 7. He would have been right there in the conversation.
Right, but still. So
I'm just throwing that into the conversation point. But no, I am 100% sticking with Taker as number 2, Cena's number 3.
You mean Triple H?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. And I'll say this historically. Historically, Shawn Michaels. They've always it's been widely said that regardless of how many matches he's been in, whether it's tag team, singles run, whatever, he has more WrestleMania losses than wins. That is like a fact. Like
Yeah. Well, Triple H does too. Triple H has more losses than wins.
Yeah.
But he just has had like
Triple
20
H has
Manias.
had more opportunities at Mania than Michaels did.
right.
I don't think Michaels is that high.
No, I think.
I mean,
like
I
5 or
think
6.
maybe 4 to 6, 5 or 6, but not higher than that. Hart's is higher. I think Bret Hart has more wins, but I don't think it beats out Cena or Triple H.
I agree. Poot, you were gonna say something? You had a point?
No, I was gonna say that. I'm gonna go with you on this, Mania man. Like,
Great. My expertise. Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, I do feel like after sitting here and like naming them, because like, yeah, the first like 1 to 10 manias are kind of cloudy, and then like I get kind of fuzzy on like the back half of the 20s and the first half of the 30s. But honestly, I don't think that that's enough to make differences in these numbers. You know,
fucking cat! God
I think that
damn it.
you guys are filling enough of my blind spots that I think that I think we're good.
So we're gonna say Triple H and
Triple
Cena?
H, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably pretty easy. I'm sure Beef came up with the answer. I'm kind of hope he didn't though. I'm kind of hope you do better grammar, man. The most is so
says
we
the
got
English
him.
major.
We got him. We flip flopped him. I'm counting it. John Cena 10, Triple H 9.
Wow.
So
Sucks me, you nerd.
Pat, when you gonna learn, sucker?
Oh.
You just can't fuck with Twisted. Brown. And also,
Beef?
sir. Yes.
Did you have a stroke?
Twisted brown beef is what I was going
Yeah,
for.
Twisted Brown beef. So Pat, Maniac, whatever you want to be called, not only are you going to taste defeat on the fantasy football field this week, my friend,
Oh dear.
but for the stump, the champs, that's right, baby, we're back. You lose, sir, and you get nothing.
Oh.
Poop.
Oh, fine.
Poop.
Yeah.
Give the people. You give the people what they want.
Oh, some delicious Mexican food. Thank you all very much for listening to the P3 podcast. Make sure you check out all the sponsors. They're going to be down in the description. That's right, Tiger Bomb Tom and his channel over on Facebook, his page on Facebook. That's what I meant. His page on Facebook. That's Casual Gaming Dad. Join us for Among Us on Tuesday nights. It's a lot of fun. I'm back, baby, and I got murdered a lot. Oh, it was so insane. Not once was I the imposter because I'm a good boy, and that's what good boys do. They're not sus. Ever. No matter how much Beef likes to throw me under the bus. Make sure you go on over to gouldgaming.com, get yourself some Casual Gaming Dad merch. It is fantastic and ultra high quality, as is our very own P3 podcast t-shirt. Buy some. They're not $49.99. Throwback! Also, make sure you check out our very own our very own resident madman, Ransom, over on Facebook. On Facebook, on YouTube. I'm getting them all mixed up. They're all social media entertainment platforms. Go on over to YouTube. Frig off Ransom. Subscribe. Like him. He's also a good boy. Even if he is sus a little bit of the time, that's okay. Nobody's perfect. And we want to go ahead. We want to go ahead and thank Mr. Sean Tischler, who's worked with wrestling in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is a wrestling state. Fuckers. We'll see you next week. And by the way, we got something super special next week. That's right, the return of Collar Elbow Tie-Up. Myself and Beef going head-to-head on that one. So make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Thanks, everybody. Bye!